I don't actually want you to have your most productive semester this fall. That might not be what you're expecting to hear coming from somebody with an academic productivity channel. But I think that chasing the most productive semester is actually what leaves most of us burned out by mid to late October. Instead, I want to help us build something more sustainable, a calm semester. So come and take the first steps with me today. If you're just joining, hi, I'm Dr. Stacey Garapi. I have my PhD in music education. I'm a mom of a 2-year-old, and I have been teaching for over 10 years, and I help writers like you with full plates and even fuller hearts to be efficient in your writing and research and enjoy your life. Welcome to Crayons in My Manuscript, Season 2. So it's August and all of the planners are out and Michael's has sales going on if you're in the US. And we just have this burst of excitement and energy, and it feels like anything is possible. And for those procrastinators, it's also a reminder that the year is not over, but it's like 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 over. And so we really need to get all of ourselves in gear. We might also have grant applications that we're working on, or we might have grants that we actually have, and now we need to fulfill them. And August plays into all of that and gives us a burst of energy, and it plays into our ideal self. This is the person that buys the craft supplies as opposed to the person that actually does the craft. And then enters planning fallacy. Our ideal selves combine with planning fallacy to have a collision course with reality. Planning fallacy is a logical fallacy where we think a project will take way shorter amount of time than it actually does take. See, by the way, every undergrad and their ever in their final papers. Our ideal self gets into this, and it really comes into a collision course with reality. But then not only does our ideal self get in the way, but we compare ourselves to other academics. We might compare ourselves to other academics that don't have as many obstacles or that are in a different part of their journey than we are. I know I struggle with this. I mean, I'll just put it out there. I struggle with this so much. As somebody who's only out of their PhD by a few years, I really struggle with comparing myself to my other peers that maybe are at a different spot in their career, or those that haven't chose content creation and haven't chosen to go in the same route that I have. It's really hard not to compare ourselves to one another. So our ideal selves comparing to others. And then you add into the fact that academia rewards over productivity, or it rewards the reward system within academia is prone to give us guilt because it rewards overwork and urgency, and it rewards perfectionism. And really, that reward system can actually make us numb to the fact that we're in a toxic environment. I'm going to share a story really quick that really let me know that I was in a toxic environment. This was in grad school, and I was working as a graduate assistant for a class of over 75 students. And there was a major test, and I needed to be the sole grader for this test. And I spent an entire night pulling an all-nighter, ironically, the only all-nighter I've ever pulled in graduate school, grading this exam. Now, the next morning, I was exhausted, and I was bringing these exams into the university. I got into the elevator, and a professor got into the elevator with me, and I looked at him and I said, "Man, I'm so tired. I just got done grading all of these exams. I stayed up all night to do it." And he looked at me and said, "Oh, good." And in that moment, I realized this isn't good. This isn't good. He should be looking at me and saying, "Oh my goodness, are you okay? Go home. Oh my goodness, you stayed up all night to grade papers? Why? Go home." And it may seem like a small interaction, but for me, it woke me up and made me realize the reward system here is rewarding, is leading toward this sort of burnout and overwork. And I think about this like as a parallel with parenting. We, at least, okay, let me speak from my experience. I want to be the best mom that I can be for my kid. I want to give her all the best things that I can and give her the best experiences in life. But really, most of the time, it comes down to my calm presence in her life. And that is actually harder than reading all the books or trying new things that might work to get us through a rough stage or buying something new. My calm presence and just being there and sometimes listening or asking questions is tougher than that. So I want to take that idea of calm presence and systems and really addressing ourselves and reflecting and pull it toward this reality of August and our ideal self and our environment that we find ourselves in as academics come August, at least in the United States. If you're in Europe, you're probably on vacation right now, and I really hope you're enjoying the beach in Mallorca or wherever you are right now. So I want to start. How do we address this? There's only so much we can do, but we often have these really ridiculous expectations of ourselves, again, often because of the comparison we're doing to other people. So I want us to lower the floor so we can break the ceiling. What do I mean by that? I mean that we need to stop for a moment and say, okay, is this expectation realistic? Is this expectation I'm putting on myself of I'm going to read X amount of books? I'm going to publish X amount of articles. I'm going to write for X amount of time. Is this realistic? And if you need a way to think about that, I want you to do this thought experiment. If an advisee was sitting next to me, or even a version of my younger self, imagine a version of your grad school self. And if you're in grad school, imagine an undergrad version of yourself sitting next to you. Would you put these expectations on that imaginary advisee or that imaginary version of yourself? And write those expectations out. Write, I expect myself to get my grades in 100% on time. I expect myself to revise a paper in one writing session. Write those out. Sometimes writing them out and then imagining trying to give it to an advisee helps us to get a realization that we need to actually lower those expectations. So maybe getting my grades in all of the time becomes submitting my grades on time 75% of the time. You could do it like that. There's a number of ways to measure these sorts of goals. Another way to do it is to protect your attention. And by that, I mean that you protect your attention rather than your time. So there are things that steal our attention. This might mean having your back and planning out your outfit or your bag the night before and really intentionally setting that out so that you're not having to take the time the next day to put the effort into that decision, because every decision that you make takes focus away from you. You can also take the time the night before to write out your 3 things. This is borrowed from Michael Hyatt's Free to Focus planner, which I enjoyed, and I have mixed feelings, but I loved the idea of the 3 things. So that's, you write down 3 things that if you don't plan it and schedule it into the day, it's not going to happen. So that you protect your attention by way of kind of having your tomorrow person's back rather than your time, rather than just blocking off and saying writing. You put down something like write 1 paragraph or read 2 pages, and so those things get scheduled in so that you do them and they get crossed off. And then you might say, Stacy, there's no way I'm getting a paper done. There's no way I'm getting everything that. Here's the thing. The 3rd thing, remember that some beats none. All right. The version of you that is reading 2 pages is doing laps around the version of you that's sitting and doom scrolling Instagram. Some beats none. And you have to leave margin for being human, because this whole endeavor of academia is fundamentally about being human, because we have a mind, we have an intellect, we have a thirst for knowledge, and we want to share it. It's about being human. So I thank you for joining me for this inaugural 2nd season episode. This season, we're going to be exploring what it looks like to build a calm academic life via not only systems, and when I say systems, I don't mean something that's rigid and something that's going to put you into this box where you feel really uncomfortable. I'm talking about a way of thinking about the structures of your time where you don't have to feel like you have to win the semester and be on all the time and just be burnt out. I want the goal to be to finish your semester with your curiosity and with your love of knowledge, reading and writing and sharing that still intact, even if you need some rest. That is my goal for you. So I'd love to know in the comments below, what would a calm semester look like for you? For you, really try and focus on you. If you could stay calm, even in the midst of whatever's going on around the outside, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that feel like maybe in your body? What would that feel like in your mindset? What kind of thoughts would be going through your head? What kind of things would be coming out of your fingertips in the products of your writing? I'd love to know. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it very, very much. Until next time, trust your words. You're building real scholarship amidst a real life. Every little bit counts, and I'm right there with you, cheering you on the whole way. Subscribe, check out this next video, and join me next time for Crayons in My Manuscript. Bye-bye.